Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New York City for ESL One New York. Dota 2 coming live from the United States of America to all around the world. We're in the world-famous Madison Square Garden Theatre, where we are hoping to have some fantastic gaming action coming your way. It's around about 20 minutes, though, before the games get underway, which gives us an opportunity to check in with our panelist here on the T-Mobile desk. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yep.
I like the joke you had earlier.
What?
We have a panel of experts plus milk.
Yeah, I always try not to be awkward, Malini, and then it's got awkward. We've been on there for 30 seconds. It's already
my job.
Thank you, Ben. Okay. Thank you.
So we have Piri and Flax, we have Malini, we have Malk in the middle, and we have Seven King Mad. I know it's not the right way of saying it. Don't give me a hard time. I'm not allowed to say the real word. I'm not allowed. So, gents, Madison Square Garden. It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I've been to New York a lot of times. I've never been to the Madison Square Garden, and it's amazing. It's a great venue for hosting this tournament, and I'm really excited to see what the crowd brings to this atmosphere.
What do you think, Malini?
I love it. New York,
yeah,
best place in the US.
Don't think there's anywhere better, Piri and Flax?
I used to live here, so to me, whenever I come back, it sort of feels a bit, homely. So I didn't live in Manhattan, I lived in Queens.
Oh, I thought you meant like you lived in Madison Square
Garden. I didn't live in
Madison.
Madison
Wow,
Square
that would have been
Garden.
amazing.
But, I'm thinking about it, maybe move in.
Right.
It's pretty cool, nice and roomy, got lots of seats,
Yeah, decent bathrooms upstairs.
Yeah, good toilet.
What about you, Seb?
It's an amazing place. I mean, it was just impressive when I came here. So I expected it to be really cool, but not that cool. I'm just looking forward to see how it's going to be.
Okay, we've got plenty of action coming your way over the next hours of the day. We've got a 2-day schedule ahead. So let's take a look at that right now. Today we're going to concentrate on our quarterfinals. We'll start with Na'Vi versus VG, and Secret versus Na'Vi US, Alliance versus EG, and Cloud9 versus those sneaky assassins at the end of the day. Friday we'll top out with us 2 semi-finals and the grand final. All the matches, for your information, will be best of 3. And that is what they're playing for. The ESL One trophy sitting in the center of the stage right now, as we are about 10 minutes away from our first set of matches. Gents, we're going to show the bracket in a second. I just want you all to pick out one team you think, with all the changes we've had, new patches, another new patch, changes to players, changes to rosters, changes of players, replacement players of replacement players. I mean, it's crazy right now. I have no idea how you're going to do this. But the good news is, I know nothing about it, so I don't have to choose. And you guys do.
I'll help out. I'll set the bar here. Vici Gaming.
Before you do that, let's just show the bracket. And you can see how it pans out. There you go. Cloud9 versus Sneaky, Alliance versus Evil Geniuses, Na'Vi VG, which is our first game, and Secret versus Na'Vi. So go on, Ted, tell us.
I'm saying Vici Gaming to win the whole thing. I'd be amazed if the pros didn't agree with me.
What's your reasoning behind
Real insight. I just think they've been very impressive lately, and good team, good lineup. I like the way they play.
You're a fan of Black?
Oh yeah, good, yeah.
You're implying that the other teams weren't really impressive, right?
I'm just saying they're the most impressive.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them.
Okay.
And so it begins.
Yeah. Also, this way
I didn't think the first jab was actually going to come from the Frenchman.
Okay.
I have to say, I thought this was going to be a bit more feisty from the middle of the desk. But yeah, Malk?
I think I was going to say Vici Gaming, but now that he ruined it for me, I'm going to go with the Alliance, actually.
Okay.
Really? Yeah, I think
Alliance. Do you have any affinity with that team?
That's not at all related.
Right. Okay. No, I believe you.
If anything, it's because I love Honey. I mean, there's a special bond between two guys that only Dota can make.
Bros.
And Honey and I have that.
Bros.
I also have it with Ben from time to time.
Ben's your bro as well?
Yeah, he is.
What's wrong with the rest of us?
You're all right.
Okay.
I mean, one can only have so many bros.
Okay.
No, but Honey's on top of his game right now. I talked to Seb about it earlier. He's playing really, really well, and I think Alliance has sort of found their chemistry together, and I don't think replacing Chessie, because it needs to be said, Honey is a stand-in. I think he's going to do really well. I think he might be the best possible replacement for their normal mid.
What do you think? How do you think it affects Alliance with what happened at the weekend, with the having to drop out and not play all the games and injuries to players and what have you? How's that going to affect them?
Not at all.
No?
I think that was strictly strategical and just saving strategies, not wasting time playing a lesser tournament, going into a major LAN tournament like this one. So that's not going to affect them at all.
Okay.
On the contrary, it's probably helpful because no one else has seen their latest strategies.
Yeah. They played well up to the point when they couldn't play anymore. And they seemed to be playing really well. Seb, what do you think, these 8 teams? I mean, you said to me earlier, it's probably the most competitive, you think, since we've had TI. So why?
Definitely. I think all the teams here are incredibly strong. Obviously, the two possibly weakest teams right now are Navi, US,
Yep.
and SNA. That's my opinion at least.
Okay.
But they are really great teams as well, so we can.
No one-
they can cause upsets. That's
None
for
of
sure.
these teams are a little bit underrated, or?
No, I don't think they are. I think some teams are overrated, not underrated. Now,
Wow.
To be completely honest, I would favor Team Secret going
Okay.
into the tournament. And I know we were talking about that team, and it's their first LAN as a team, so that's obviously a factor. But it's players like Puppy, No Tail. I mean, those guys, it's not their first LAN. You know,
Ben,
so.
one of the key things about the changes has been the fact that with new patches, the better players, the better strategic players, tend to find something early on. What team stands out for you in that respect?
I would also say Secret is, they're definitely forerunners and contenders for the final place, but I would have to actually go with Cloud9, judging by their recent performance. Yes, they scraped by a couple series in WCA, but they only lost to Newbie. Newbie's defending TI champions and #1 at WCA, so that's an impressive feat in itself. And yeah, they have some wonky strats that are Drought Visage, which has always worked for them, but Cloud9 has been just performing amazingly well.
I think you're right. In terms of strategy, Cloud9 really brings something new to the table. I mean, they've always done that. They have some strategies they keep falling back to now, but it's something that they invented, so to speak, themselves. In regards to team play and individual skill, can they bring it? They definitely can. They finished second a ton of times already.
Yep.
This could be their time to shine.
And they play SNA the first round too, so almost guaranteed in semifinals.
Wow. That's early blows. Early blows from Ben. Whoa, okay.
So it's quite funny because we forgot one team. Actually, we forgot many, but EG, right? The last time they were competing in a major tournament in US was TI, and they finished. It was a really good placement, but it was disappointing. Everybody expected them to go all the way to the finals. So let's see how EG can actually defend their pride here at home.
Does it
this time
help
around.
EG that they weren't involved at the weekend and they haven't really had to show any of the new strats and they haven't really played that many games actually on the new patch at all?
I think it favors them because they are a team strategically. They're very, very good, and they have great minds such as PPD, Zai, even Fear. I mean, every one of them. So I'm looking forward to see how they adapted that patch.
Generally, when we're talking about the last two patches, 682 and 682B, why have all your MMRs dropped like a stone?
They didn't.
I'll answer that one.
hang on. Seb's claiming his didn't. Like everyone else's did, right?
Seb didn't play, that's why.
Oh, yeah, so when you're low, it's easy to get high.
This is the thing, though, when we're talking about, like we were talking before we went on, just saying how badly the patch affected all of our win rates, and some of us lost 12 games in a row, Mark. So,
that's better.
So, I mean, as much as I struggled and my friends struggled to adapt to it, I mean, these guys are playing now. I mean, I don't know who's going to win, really.
Okay.
I mean, it depends who adjusts best to the patch.
All right, well, the good news is if you're at home and you're thinking, well, I know much more than these panelists, what are they talking about? The good news is you can actually go and vote for the team in each game. We're not going to ask you to predict the winner. That's much harder, as you've just heard. It's a pretty split decision across the board. But you can now go and vote on the two teams that are about to play. Let us know who you think will win using the information at the bottom of your screen right now. And then we'll update that and we'll get predictions from all of you as well before the first match. We're not going to talk about that first match just yet. Melk?
One thing I do want to say, though, because we all seem to forget about EG, but I think it's more because none of us have really seen them. We all know they have the necessary skills to win this tournament. We all consider them one of the best teams.
Okay.
It's just that we haven't seen as much of them this patch that none of us are really comfortable predicting this team is going to win.
Well, there's two other factors. Firstly, they played American teams in like Stars Series, qualifiers, and on top of that, they had to play Alliance first round, which is probably the toughest match for me to call in the first round.
Definitely.
Yeah, but if you match them up against Secret or VG Gaming, wouldn't it also be a tough call?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to talk to you guys about Secret because it's the all-star lineup of players from three fantastic teams in the past. All notable achievements, great, but it's not as simple as, I mean, you've done this with Alliance. You pick 5 players, put them all together and hope that they all gel. I mean, they're all very different kind of people, but actually their results are astounding right now.
I think the difference is having a strong captain.
Yeah.
And I think that Puppy is the kind of guy who will lead a team, and especially at LAN. And I mean, I think that having that, someone you can defer to as being sort of the big man, and he literally is, I think that helps.
There's also one thing with the new teams. Usually when you gather star players like this, they are at their best level when they start the team because everyone will give,
100%.
Exactly.
Yep.
Everyone will. Kuroki might want to prove the others he's one of the best players in the world. No Tail might want to do the same, etc. So I think that team right now is playing at their best level, and I would expect them to be really strong in that LAN. The big troubles for them are going to be after this. You always have that slump.
I mean, the weird thing is that I'm just going to pick this. None of you have picked them. None of you have said, we
I
think
thought Seb took them.
Okay, all right. I'm going to take that back. So
Can I
then,
change my pick to Secret?
No.
Because he really sold it to me.
I sold it to
He really
me as
sold
well.
it
I'm
to
like,
me.
yeah.
So I'll tell you why
Fine.
they're not going to win then. I think
Okay.
because this is their first LAN event and because they haven't faced any, like, they haven't lost yet. They don't really know what they're going to do once they do start losing. So going into a best of 3, if they drop a map, they might just crumble altogether. Yes, they're all experienced.
It could be the contrary. As a player, I always knew that, and we knew as a team that the LAN is what will actually bring us together and what will make us a real strong team. So if they start winning, who can stop them?
I'm going to have to stop you there, guys. We are going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it is ESL One New York getting underway.